Hello everyone and welcome to another video in which this time we will discuss about the various options available with this helicopter, the AS350 by Alpine Studio, formerly HSF. So since the beginning I've been in the passenger variant of the helicopter, and let's have a look around. It's as you would expect, a front seat and 4 back seats. Now the seats themselves, let me bring this here. You click on the where the warning lights usually appear, and there you go. So you can customize the panel, load counter, it's for sling loading, which we will cover maybe in the next video. Chronometer, if you want the A tab to appear like here, it will appear here. And if you don't want it, because I find it to be in my way most of the time, and there it is, anti-crash seats. So these are the what we call the regular seats, and then you have the anti-crash seats, but only for front seats, because unlike the EC130, in the real helicopter you can't have the anti-crash seats at the back. But what you can do is you can remove the front seat. It will remove only, obviously, what would be the co-pilot seat, except that here, as you can see, there are no dual controls anyway. And when you remove the back seat, it will remove only this. Okay, there are 2 seats here actually. 4 people can sit at the back. And if you have the back seat, you can close the back seat. Okay, the seat's still here, but it's closed. So let's bring back the front seat again. Open it and close. And then here you have dual controls. So you have collective, cyclic, and pedals, and there we go. If you maybe are role playing, I don't know if you can edit the view so that you are sitting here instead of here. That would be interesting. Maybe I can play around and see if I can by default sit in this position. And one thing I wanted to check, let's check it right now. If I remove front seat, it removes only the seat. Okay, and if I remove dual controls, no pedals, no cyclic, no collective. Fine. And let's bring back the front seat. Very good, because in some helicopters, when you remove dual controls, you still have pedals, which I don't like. So here, very good. Dual controls, when you remove them, you are really removing the dual controls. No, not just the cyclic and the collective, also the pedals. So that's very, very good, and that's actually how I fly. I don't need dual controls. And here, if you want to remove the doors, pretty self-explanatory. Let's go outside. There you are, all the doors. And front doors, I have the full glass one. So let's remove them first, because then there is another option. Okay, remove front doors only. Okay, front doors only, and now let's remove the back doors also. There it is. So from outside, this is how it will look without any door. And maybe if you're configuring it for special operations like Heslow, you might also remove the seats. And actually, I wanted the back seat to be removed completely, maybe in an update, because it's still version 1, just released. And let's bring back the doors, and here The doors are open, so key bindings to close all the doors, very practical. So here, that's full glass. Here and here, semi means the lower half won't be glass anymore, like this. Okay, and then Helm's version will come to this in a moment. Same for sling operations. I might actually remove this so that we can get to see them again. Now step model. Here it's I wish this could you know, be viewed from the outside too. You don't have any steps apart from those two here, and then that's going to be tedious switching back and forth. Step model 1, it's the half one, the most common one actually, because pilot and passenger on this side and on the other side too, you can get into the helicopter no problem. And but still, if you want the model number 2, this will give you full, like here, okay, full one. And then bare pose, they are what they are, bare pose. And cross means activated, empty means deactivated, and when you have a number, it means that you have options. Like here, it's empty. This is option number 1. This is option number 2. Okay, but when we have only cross that appears and disappears, it means either you have a bare pose or whatever it is. Like here, you have semi-gloss or you don't have them. So bare pose, they are what they are. Okay. And actually, I might remove the floats and bring them after. And then you have short snow skis, long snow skis, and when you activate snow skis, bare pose disappear. So there is mixing up my okay, short. I believe when you click this, the other one will disappear again. So long snow skis, when you see number 1, it means that you have a few options. Okay, so let's see option number 1, what it is. That's option number 1. Of course, it's the same on the other side, but because of that tedious back and forth, I'm showing you only one side. And here, if I click again, option number 2, and there you are. Okay, option number 2, and I believe if we click again, we have only 2 options. Okay, so floats, either on or off, and floats are emergency floats as you would expect them to be. In case of an emergency over water, you have to arm them and then activate them. Maybe I will show in maybe later in this same video anyway. And then you have your low skids. There it is. Low skids, steps disappear, and you already saw the helicopter lowering down. That's low skid. Okay, so let's bring back the normal skids, and then baskets. So if you want basket to the right, and actually you can't have basket if you have floats. That's why when I'm clicking, it's not doing anything. Remove the float, and then you can have to the left or to the right, or of course both. Okay, and there they are. And each time you add 20 kilos weight, you will see a luggage appear. And actually, let's see if it's time to do it, or there are other things. There we go. You have wire cutters, top and bottom, tail protection, wipers. So here, 2 options. Also, you have only 1. Let me zoom like this. Maybe like this. So 1, 2, you saw the other one appear, or none. Okay. Fire attack. We'll talk about it after. Siren, once again after. It's I believe very useful for the fire attack, or maybe the hems option too. And belly lights, you will have lights underneath. If you can see them, there they are. Okay, if you want them. And then pilot helmet. Here you have the headset for everyone. Okay, and actually I might bring in the passengers and how to say this, the basket. Ground power unit, you either click here or you have key bindings for it if you want to use the GPU for start up. And handling wheels, I will cover it in a moment. Now simulation, dynamic view, I have no idea what it is. I believe for people not using some sort of tracking head tracking device. If you want to give it a try, you give it a try. Now augmented stability, it's my least favorite thing in X-Plane. I don't know, I mean, anyway, maybe they are targeting different types of flight simmers. At first I have a helicopter where, as you can see, there is no autopilot. Is it the Jet Ranger? I don't know, I don't remember. But the SAS augmented stability is, in fact, when you turn it on, it gives you the autopilot option. But here, as you can see, no autopilot, which means that it's artificially making it more stable, and that's not for me. Maybe it's for you, but remember, I have training programs for beginner, intermediate, advanced, emergencies, instrument training, so that you can leave this as is. Kill vibrations, it is what it is. It will we won't have any vibration, but I like to have it. And then auto start, once again, I will leave it for you. I don't auto start my helicopters. Okay, so now there are a few things we wanted to see. First, let's bring in the passengers. So as you can see already, pilot inside. And according to the manual, it's 75 kilo. Yeah, kilo it has to be. And for front, 75. Let's do that. Done. No, that's why I like to add 80, because it was said, I think, in the manual it's 75. But anyway, my passengers, they always have 80. So here I will put 80, and back in front you have only one passenger, and here if I put 160, you will have two guys at the back. Flight changes, one in front, two at the back, and I will have to talk about the crew in a moment. Let's bring in the rest of the guys. So you guessed it, 320, done. Apply, and there you have the whole passenger pilot. And then let's add some cargo. So cargo left, let's put 60, and cargo right, let's put 40, because it's supposed to, every 20 kilos baggage will appear. If you can see them. We can't see them. Or is it? Oh, that's inside. That's the cargo, not the basket cargo. Anyway, we already saw it. Okay, so now let's read properly. Concentrate. There it is. Okay, there, basket. Oh, that's the cargo. But anyway, let's put same things. No, not 360. 60 and 40. I believe it's it works the same. Here I have on the other side, I kind of have one. Let's put more weight. 320, 240. Oh, I've already exceeded the. Anyway, I'm not gonna take off like this. It's just for demonstration purposes. Yeah, lots of. Can you open the basket, by the way? Oh yeah, that would have been so cool. There it is. You can't. And because I removed the baggage, no more baggage. Now I will go ahead and remove the basket weight too. There we go. And now, if you click on this, you can use it to refuel the helicopter. Okay, like here, plus, minus. Okay, let's remove it for the moment, and we'll come back to it after we start the helicopter. So let's get inside. I will remove the baskets, and something I need to talk about here, just in case during my playthroughs when I'm making flights, you see those guys, they won't look like this for you, because I've modified the texture. They will have the same face and maybe different shirts, but I modified them so that they kind of look like 6 in total in the EC130, 5 here. They kind of look different. And the good thing is I can make this guy sit here if I want, and this guy sit in front, and this guy sit here, by just changing crew 1, crew 2, crew 3, etc. Now, as you can see here, when I click headsets, they will all have headsets, including the pilot. Okay, including the pilot. And you also have the option here, pilot helmet, but only for the pilot. Okay, helmet only for the pilot. There it is. All the other guys, they have headset, and pilot has helmet, and I believe because I don't use it, sunglasses. No. View night vision. The sunglasses were supposed to give you the visor. Anyway, there it is. So now I will go ahead and remove the passengers so that I don't forget. There it is. There it is. And apply. Okay, so let's come to the HEMS version. You have a stretcher only. Okay, there it is. The stretcher. Nothing at the back here except that the seat is gone. Or you can have the full medical. Okay, you have the medical equipment too at the back, and you will notice 2 back seat. And this time, when adding weight, front will make the patient visible. Okay, and rear will make the 2 medical staff. Let me put 80 and see. if only one appears. Yeah, you have only one of them, guys, and the patient here. I might also edit the, I mean, I don't like the eyes open like this. It's disturbing. I might edit the texture so that he has his eyes closed or in pain or something like that. And let's bring in the second guy at the back, second medical staff. There it is. Same thing here. Yeah, the crew, they have all that face. So maybe I will edit for the medical staff and the patient too, but otherwise you will have all the passengers and like this also, same face. So there it is. And now, just in case you leave it like that, you just remove the winch. Not visible from inside, but from the outside you have the winch, but it's not functional. It's just for decoration. Okay, and if you just remove stretcher and full medical, because we still have weight, you will have one guy in front and two guys at the back. So you have to bring in the front and back seat, because by default like this here it removes whatever is at the back. So remove this and bring back the front, one guy here, two guys at the back, and of course if that's not what you wanted, 0 and 0, done, apply. Okay, now let's come to maybe the most interesting thing as far as I'm concerned, because I have many helicopters anyway. So sling hook. Now if you look under the helicopter, I believe even if you don't have the sling hook, you can still use Alpine hoist, I believe, but of course you want to have the sling hook. There is. Okay, so and then you will have the sling here. So it's already Alpine hoist ready, and maybe here you can see it better. You have two options for the mirrors. If I can aim for the box, one. Okay, one here, and two, both down. And you will also notice with option number 1, if I can aim for the box, there is the windshield, the wiper to change its position. So if you like it this way or this way. Now I must say they're not very functional. They will display some kind of graphics, but you can't use them for real life, like as in real life. Okay, and then floor window. Here you have an extinguisher, and if you activate floor window, you will have a window here, and actually the sling is behind, so that floor window. And anyway, there is something I will talk about when demonstrating Heslo in this helicopter. Real life is real life, a sim is a sim. It's very difficult to do things in real life, as in real life, in a simulator. I will talk in more details when I will be doing the specific video for sling loading. Here it's just showing you what you have and what you don't. Here you have the normal window, and pilot side here, and bubble window. It is what it is. It means a bubble. Okay, here you have the bubble window, and how it works actually. It's like here. You can, as the pilot, do this and still be quote unquote inside the helicopter. Okay, so that you can have a look at what's going on beneath you. And of course, it's mostly used for sling load operations. And once again, I will talk about all this real life versus simulator thing, sling loading, doing this, doing that, when we will be demonstrating sling loading in this helicopter. I say demonstrating because I've already explained how to do sling loading operations using Alpine host in a different video. So I will just point you to this video to create a sling load sceneries and all. So we've seen the sling load operations, and now let's have a look at the fire attack. Where are you? So fire attack. There it is, nothing underneath. And fire attack activated. There you have. And then you will have this hose which you can deploy and fold. I will call it like this. And when it's deployed, it will be hanging. Once again, there will be a specific video demonstrating only the fire attack, even if I don't have any plugin for fire. There is one, but for the price, I mean, you can have a complete helicopter module for that price. What it does is just creates a fire here and there where you click, and then you just take your helicopter. It does not even come with a helicopter. You take your helicopter, then you go fight the fire. That's all the module does. Some helicopters, complete package, complete module, are cheaper than that. So I'm not sure I'm getting this payware fire thing. I will see how I can demonstrate the fire attack. But anyway, here it is. You kind of deploy the hose and you hover over a body of water. Of course, it will fill, and then you go and drop the water from underneath the tank. Once again, there will be a separate specific video just to demonstrate that, same as for the sling loading. And that's fire attack. And the siren, I'm not even sure what it appears. I believe it should be under the helicopter. Ah, right, there it is. Okay, and then inside the helicopter, I'm messing with my key bindings here. Inside the helicopter, where it is, siren. You can have key bindings which will be more appropriate. Okay, and when you actually, let's bring in some power. Do I have the GPU? Now I have. So that's inside. No helmet, that is inside full sound. And let's hear. Ooh! I thought it would have been louder outside. One on both sides. Okay, so let's get back inside. And those are once again other things that it will be interesting to have key bindings, so that you're flying and then you kind of need to operate the siren. You just press your button assigned to it and you will hear the siren. So there it is. And before removing the ground power unit, let me just do this, and GPU gone. Okay, now handling wheels. I'm not sure if it comes with a little menu to the side, but here you can see nothing under the helicopter. So once again, you can have key bindings for it. Handling wheels, I believe you should feel the helicopter lift up a little bit. There it is. Okay, so from inside you can control it. Nice. Okay, let's show from the outside. If you have key bindings, you can control it from outside view. I don't know if it is replay compatible. I believe it should be. But anyway, look at where I am on that edge here. So let's go back inside. Do you require power? Normally you shouldn't. There you go. And of course with key bindings, instead of doing only one of those actions, you can do forward, right, that is moving forward and going right at the same time, etc. Okay, So anyway, it's moving the helicopter. So let's try to put it back where it was. There it is. And I believe with key bindings it will be much more interesting to see this in action. So I think I've covered panels, like here the load counter. It's used for sling loading, so every time you lift an object 200 kilo, I believe, greater than 200 kilo, it will register 1, and then you drop it and then you pick another one, it will register 2. So each time it's loaded, it will register 1 count, and then at the end you just press this, it will reset to 0, and this is a stopwatch, pretty self-explanatory. Start, stop, reset. Okay, and then you have the mode here if you want to change the display. Stop, reset. The mode is not functional. Anyway, it's just a stopwatch there. So here it's the GPS. If you have the, I believe the 650 is a payware one, AB tab, etc. So the rest you can have a look and configure it to your liking. So I will configure it back to how it was, and there it is, and the wiper 2, etc. I had the belly lights, I had pilot helmet and crash seat. Okay, and you configure it the way you want. Now I will take off, fly a little bit, and explain to you a few things about how I feel about the helicopter. So once again, I've already explained in detail how to start up and shut down the helicopter. So here I'm just gonna make sure everything is set properly, and let me put my helmet on. Where are you? Actually, I think I will get key bindings for this guy too. I usually start with the engine on, and the anti-collision light is usually always on. So this guy here, Jen here. Okay, so here we go. Once again, I've already explained how to start the helicopter. Now I'm opening with this here. I'm still pressing the starter button. I will release when this needle here is around 40 to 45, and then release. And usually in real life, unless you have only helmet, if you're wearing a headset, you will uncover one side of the ear so that you can. Why we start with the door open so that you can hear better any unusual sound. Okay, and you will know. Every day you start the helicopter, you will, hey, I'm hearing something not normal. Even if it's the first time you hear it, the mere fact that you are hearing it means that, hey, there is something. Okay, and then once you've started the helicopter, you can close the door. Here, while it's warming up, you will bring in the systems. Once again, I've already explained, even if there is no autopilot, you can fly the helicopter. But then you might ask yourself, hey, yeah, how do I reach my destination? You have GPS, you have here's nav 1, com 1, nav 2, com 2. I've explained. You don't see the compass very well. No problem. Bring this guy. As you can see, there's only one line because I don't have any destination. So my heading is 072. And if I zoom, which of course I'm not going to do in flight, but that's it. 072. So while flying, I need to maybe turn to heading of 300. I bring this up. Again, once I read 300 here, that's it. And whatever thing I'm using as reference, that's what I will be using. So while it's warming up here, let's complete. I will put the pitot heat. We'll put the position light, gyro, of course. If you have floats, you will arm the floats. And by the way, let me put it just so that you can see. Here I have floats, and I have the float arm, which was not here before. Now it is. Okay, and then I have a key binding, which you can activate or deactivate the float in case you need them. Otherwise, it's this button you can see here. Now it's gone, but of course, it's in an emergency. You still want to fly the helicopter. I will try to press a button. Ah, there it is. Yeah, I have to write everything. There it is. Okay. Then here you can land on water as well. Right, in case of emergency only. So what else do we have to taxi nav light? Once again, very practical to have key bindings. I will just leave them off. And then horn, I kind of wait for the RPM to get high enough, because otherwise this message will keep flashing, and secondly you might not notice if there is a problem. And actually during one flight, it was not scheduled, it was a helicopter I received from a developer, and during one of the flights there was a real emergency, and actually I had to communicate it to the dev, and we had to change a few files. But I performed an auto rotation, and in fact I believe this is available on the channel, the flight I was doing and the real auto rotation. So yeah, it's better to, even if it's a simulator, to have everything properly set. And remember, pedals you can move, but the cyclic no, because it has friction. You remove it here. And collective too, you can't move. You will see this guy roll, and now you can use the cyclic and collective. Now, before taking off, a few things I would like to discuss. Having flown the helicopter a little bit, when on low torque power, like here, okay, on low torque, low speed, the pedals are very sensitive. As you will see, I still have to get used to it. And remember, it's a right power pedal helicopter. It's very, very sensitive, especially if you have wind. Let me check how much wind do I have. 8 knots, 280. Oh, 280. So we are almost a tailwind here, but 8 knots. Of course, the helicopter will try to weather in. You should know all these things, because as I said, I already have training programs for basic, intermediate, advanced instrument flight, so you should know what is weather vane and why a helicopter does it. The pedals are very sensitive. The slightest touch and the helicopter will zoom, 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 left, right, left. Okay, and at high torque settings, when doing sling load operations, you have to crash that pedal because kind of I'm not saying it's not responding, but wow, it wants to yaw to the left, and you kind of crash that right power pedal to get something. So it is at both extremes, very sensitive, low torque, and very kind of unsensitive, high torque power. Maybe when we will do the demonstration for the sling load operations, I will be able to demonstrate it better. But otherwise, the helicopter flies beautifully. It's a very stable helicopter, but still I won't recommend it for training purposes, unless that's the only helicopter you purchase. In X-Plane 12, I will highly recommend the R22 default helicopter. You have nothing to buy. But if you are only in X-Plane 11, and this is only available for X-Plane 12 anyway, in X-Plane 11 I will recommend this Skylab's R44 or this Skylab's I would say this gimbal carry. But otherwise, this is a very, very nice helicopter to fly, except for, from now, what I've observed, the sensitive pedal low torque and unsensitive pedal high torque. So let me once again, the keyword here is try to make a proper lift off into hover. I remove the friction, yep. Remember, right power pedal. And this is the moment a fly decided to start to annoy me. Just when I'm about to lift off. Very, as you can see, barely, I have to barely touch the pedal here. But otherwise, once it's airborne. And actually the helicopter hovers right skid low. It's not very apparent here, but in the current Sim H125, which is the B3 version of the helicopter, it is much more apparent, but you do kind of feel a slight tendency to hover right skid low, but in the H125 of current Sim it's more noticeable. But here you do. Let me bring it to a hover just to check it. Once again, pedals. You have to get used to it. As you can see, it's not that noticeable. In the real helicopter, it is. Yeah, kind of. Yeah, you have to know. You have to know that this helicopter hovers with a right skid low for you to notice it, otherwise it's very noticeable. But as you can see, nice helicopter to fly, to hand fly. Remember, there's no autopilot, and actually what autopilot means, it only means it will do stuffs for you. Follow a heading, hold at altitude, fly to a GPS destination. No autopilot means you can still use all those features, except that instead of the autopilot doing it for you, you will have to do it manually. And that's a very, very nice way to fly the helicopter. And by the way, the real helicopter did not come, the B2 model did not come with autopilot, but of course it can be retrofitted with one. And I'm kind of looking forward for it to be added in a future update. It's kind of retrofitting this simulator version with an autopilot. As far as I'm concerned, it's not really a problem for me. I can fly the helicopter, I can hand fly it, but I believe for people not having many options, like maybe that's one or two of the helicopters they own, and they want to do long trips with it, they might require an autopilot, because I have a few other helicopters. From the same developer, I also have the EC130, which has autopilot, so I might use that other one instead. So as you can see, it was a nice hover taxi, and we are taking off from the taxiway here. And no trim, release, nothing. So trim, yes, it's trim release that you don't have. So once you're established in the climb, remember it's still hand flying, there's no autopilot, nothing here. You will have to learn everything from scratch, and actually you can use it for training purposes, except that it's not the proper helicopter to use, but yeah. And now, if I want to kind of maintain level flight, here I'm pushing forward on the stick. I just trim the helicopter using trim up, trim down, trim left, trim right, and now I can kind of let go a little bit of the stick cyclic until I kind of barely touches it, just to kind of maintain, as you can see here, level flight even during the turn. Now I'm completely off the pedal, and as you can see, the ball is centered. And once trimmed, once again, like I said, I can hand fly the helicopter even to Pretoria. Here we are in Rendezvous. Except that's going to be a long flight, but I'm not fighting with the helicopter because we have the option to trim it, so you don't have to push forward on your stick and hold it there, because I believe most of you, same as I do, I have self-centering joysticks, so you just trim it properly. And I will show you when we are going to land how I then deactivate the trim, because otherwise might have some problems, especially when coming to a harbor if the trim is still active. But there it is. And flying the helicopter, it flies beautifully. With or without load, except when, of course, when you are sling loading, you will have a weight swinging underneath you, so it requires additional skill. But here, no problem. Does it seem like I'm struggling? No, not at all. And once again, like I was saying, I can't see the compass here properly. What do I do? There it is. So 020. Let's turn a heading of 350. I can either leave it like this, or once I will. There it is. Except that here I don't have lots of landmarks. But anyway, gotta go this direction. You get the idea, so that I don't necessarily have to bring this up all the time. I have my general direction, and there it is. So let's head back to the airport. Once again, like I said, very nice to fly. Just the pedals on lift-off, and when we will be demonstrating sling loads operation on high torque power, it requires a lot of pedal, and with the wind going from one pedal to the other, the helicopter dances in the air. But at the same time, don't tell me to fly with no wind. That's not realistic. We're in a flight simulator, it's not GTA. Okay, we want to do things as real as it gets, and I will start my descent. And when lowering collective, you will have to use left pedal. Remember, it's a right power pedal helicopter, and I'm starting to trim up. That is to bring the nose up. And if I kind of deactivate the trim all at once, what it will do, it will kind of bring the nose up abruptly. I can demonstrate it just for demonstration purposes. As you can see here, but because I already kind of trimmed it up a little bit, it did not do it that much. But you want to kind of trim it almost back to normal. And here I'm still on the left pedal here because I'm still lowering collective. Maybe you will see the helicopter start dancing once we switch from one pedal to the other, as you start to raise the collective to kind of prepare for the landing. And there it is, starts dancing. You can't see my feet on the pedal, but helicopter is dancing a little bit, very sensitive, like I said, in those phases. I'm still on the left pedal, now right pedal, gradual, as you can see. I kind of try to do it gradually so that I don't kind of have a dancing helicopter too much. But I believe once you get used to it, it should be okay. There it is. Okay, so I don't think, if you want my honest opinion, I don't think that sensitive pedal, low torque setting, and not that sensitive high torque setting, I don't think it is an issue. It's just a question of getting used to it. I personally have no problem with it. I just need to fly it a little bit more often compared to the first time I flew it. And now it was much better. So the more I fly it, the more I will get used to the sensitive or not sensitive pedals when using high torque. But otherwise, this helicopter flies beautifully, as you just saw. And you can do normal passenger flights. You can configure it for HEMS operations, for sling load, for fire attack. So passenger, HEMS, sling loading, fire attack, and anything else that comes to your mind. But already you have 4 options for one helicopter, and you have 3 variants. Okay, now if I'm gonna change from the BA to the B1 and B2, It's gonna take some time, but anyway, just a few gauges are going to change. But otherwise, it's going to be more or less the same helicopter. Now they will have their own flight characteristics. The B8 does not fly as the B1, which doesn't fly as the B2. They each have their own flight dynamics, but it is not going to feel like the CH-47. You understand what I mean? It's still going to feel like an AS350. So there it is. I'm going to proceed to the shutdown and at the same time debrief. So we saw the various options. How to add passengers, how to add side baskets and baggage and the basket, and how to remove them, how to add floats, different types of skids, and etc. Hands version, sling load, fire attack, and I believe in the next videos I will demonstrate sling loading and the fire attack, except that I will have to figure out for the fire attack how I'm gonna demonstrate it, but anyway. This is a very nice helicopter. Maybe the thing you want to know, do I recommend it? Yeah, I do. Now, I mean, I know how to fly helicopters. I even make tutorials to help other people. So of course, my opinion might not be on par with yours. Maybe you will struggle with this helicopter and say, hey, what did GreyEyedEagle recommend me? I can't fly this helicopter. So you have to understand this. Based on, I believe, someone who is familiar with helicopter, you can fly this helicopter. That's what I mean. It's a very nice helicopter, no problem. And I really recommend it. You have, like I said, passenger, hands operation, sling load, fire attack, and it flies beautifully. And once you get used with the pedal, I don't think it's going to be an issue anyway. So yeah, and if you're interested, from the same guys, you also have the EC-130, and now the nice helicopter, still from Alpine Studio. I think formerly they were HSF, but anyway, shutdown complete. Now we can activate the rotor brake. Here you have the dome lights. Okay, dome lights here. There it is. And once I have key bindings for it, but otherwise I believe you can do it from here. There it is. When it says remove before flight, if you have the safeties, it will remove. But if you don't have, if you click here, it will kind of put the tie down to the back. Okay, there it is. And don't start the helicopter this way. Make sure you have them removed, and then you can proceed with shutting down the helicopter. I leave anti-collision lights on. So there it is. Now just a few notes on the liveries, because someone asked me. That's why I'm making this video anyway. So those two are my textures, but you have the Heli Air Monaco. I mean, if I load each and every texture, it's gonna take some time, but just going to do it like this. Okay, Glacier, Highland, Hunter, Canadian helicopters, and VIH, Helixa, Heli Union, SAF helicopter, Gendarmerie, and by the way, I speak French and Italian fluently too, so Sécurité Civile, Heli Swiss. Let's have a look at those Swiss helicopters, and the Italian, Grande Italia, eccoci. Okay, and this one too is an Italian helicopter. Oh, I don't have the actual icon, but it's in the Italian flag, and this is the one we have been flying in. Okay, so there it is. Nice helicopter, nice model, nice flight dynamics, nice features, nice variants, passenger, ham, sling load, fire attack. So there you are. Okay, so I believe next I will do a demonstration of the sling load operation, and then the fire attack. And if there is anything else you want me to cover concerning this helicopter, please let me know. So I hope you find this video helpful. If you do, please leave a like and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in another video. Until then, take care. Bye bye.